Okay, we're here. Um, we're doing a interview with mom here. This is Aaron, and we're going to talk about basically 2009 to present day and hopes for the future. And I have a list of things that we can talk about, but um, is there anything that you'd like to start off with, Mom?
Um, I was just trying to write some memories of you guys since 2009. And the one memory that sticks out to me is um, I lost my job uh, in about 2009, I think. And I thought it was a devastating thing, and we brought good money in because of it. And
Protective ed? Is that what you're
productive
referring
ed,
to?
yeah. And the one thing that as I'm sitting here right now, was that knowing that if we let God prevail in our lives, that we'll understand. We may not understand when it happens, but we will understand. And I do understand why it did happen. And I wouldn't have been able to have those precious years that I had with you guys. I was traveling all the time, and I wouldn't have been able to see all the plays, the dancing, all the things that meant the most in the world to me was my sons. So I wanted to start off with that because that was such a moment in my life that I thought was devastating. And then putting it in God's hands, it was the best thing that ever happened. So
Mm.
start out with that.
Um, when did you stop doing as much ballroom dancing?
About that time. I started earlier with you guys. I think I started when Jared was on his mission, and then too much time was away from you guys because that was my one addiction besides Coke Zero. And because you mentally, physically, you know how it is when you're dancing. You feel amazing. You feel like you can't worry about anything. So it became an addiction because I felt good physically and mentally. So I took you guys in, and you and Josh started taking lessons. And so that was kind of cool. But by the time 2009 rolled around, I had pretty much stopped. So
Okay. So at this point in my life, uh, I was starting high school. Josh
mhm.
was finishing elementary school. Um, do you have any specific memories around this time?
I do. There, I was thinking to myself, what year was that? About, he was going into middle school, right?
Yeah, I think he
You
went
were
into
starting high
middle
school.
school the following year. So you could, I mean, we can talk about it though, because it's around the same time.
Yeah, I know that elementary school, for at the end of the years for Josh, I had teachers commenting how amazing you two were. They knew both of you. And I had one teacher say, she goes, I have children. I pray that my children turn out as good as Josh and Aaron did. And how they just admired you. And I remember, particularly with you, one of the teachers telling me, uh, I'll tell a joke in class, when you were in elementary school, and Aaron and I are the only ones rolling around on the ground laughing. He said, nobody else would get it, and you would always get it. And I think that says a lot because, I joked with you guys, you knew I interacted with you. And I think that's why a lot of kids are like, huh? Their parents don't do that. So I loved every moment that I could do that. And I remember Josh, when he got into middle school, he decided he was going to go into choir, follow his big brother's footsteps. And I was able to chaperone. And it was a really funny time because I had never met a teacher that let the class run over them, but I went on, and I didn't realize that children were changing at that time, where respect was not part of what they did. I mean, there were so many kids that were disrespectful. And a couple of the girls, I said, you need to sit down. The teachers ask you to do that, and they give me dirty looks. And I thought, my kids have never done that to me. None of you even thought to do that to me. So it was an eye opener. And seeing what children wore, like girls, I go, geez, Josh, I cannot believe that their parents are letting them out of the car. I could see it maybe afterwards, so just the change, and also having the gospel in our life. You guys noticed. You were going, man, Mom, this is bad. These girls, are, and you voiced your concern. Josh voiced his concern. So, but the good part is that I was involved, and like I said, Heavenly Father afforded me that by saying, no, you're not going to work for that company any longer. It's done, and if you trust me, you're going to have the best memories of your life. And so I do. You want me to go into some of those memories, or you want to go ahead and ask me a question?
Well, I think that kind of segues into high school choir for Josh and I.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about those years.
I remember at one time that one of my friends said, do you have to go to every performance that Aaron and Josh do? And I said, and every rehearsal, I should add. And I said, yes, I do. And I had to, I made the mistake of when Matthew and Mark and Jared were younger, I wasn't thinking, I really need to keep them going to church, because I would go and I wouldn't even hear anything, because I had 3 little boys and I was by myself. And of course, now hindsight. So I vowed that I would make sure that you two always went. It didn't matter who went with me. You guys were going to go. And I think, hindsight, I would have made sure that those 3 little boys would have gone all the time too. I wouldn't have been partially going and partially not. But some of the memories that that stick out in my mind, and every once in a while people will even mention it, are pirate parties. It was a blast. We had a dirt backyard, and but the kids loved it. And I had costumes for everybody, and it was just so much fun.
And we would go over to Krispy Kreme and get our free dozen donuts
per person.
Yeah. Those were good times.
Good times. You guys, I thought of this the other day, where you remember when we went to Disneyland and you two wore mustaches, you and Josh, and me too, all day. And everybody would give us a look. They go, oh, it was so much fun. I can't believe I did that. But do you remember?
I didn't remember doing that at Disneyland, but I do remember like us like wearing big mustaches all day. So
I got to bring those pictures up, because that'll be priceless. They looked at 2 little boys with mustaches, and they looked at the mom. That's funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
Of course, the plays. I had that moment when you did Hello, Dolly, where your dad and I are like, hey, he's a real actor. He's a real singer. dancer, we were in awe. We were your biggest fans. And then it just, every year you got better, and was always the romantic lead. You're like, can I be the funny guy? And then the Josh was right on your heels when he got into high school, and he was the funny guy in all the plays. And your dad and I did the same thing. We're like, looking at each other, and your dad really wasn't into super silliness, but I couldn't believe the change in him either, just watching you guys and beaming, because you guys were up there making people laugh, uh, creating joy. I think it was a real proud moment for us that you guys were able to do that. And I think at that point, you guys were always willing to, if you heard a swing or a cha-cha or whatever, grab your mom and dance with her. And it was a real joy. I was able to dance and be with my kids at the same time.
Even more so now, I think, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that I've been taking some swing.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to go back to your talking about like uh how important it was that you were attending church every week with Josh and I. Um, but you also made sure that we went to seminary every morning, and mutual every Tuesday night, and then every EFY and all those things. So um yeah, why was that important to you to prioritize going to those things, and how do you think it affected who we are today?
Um, it definitely established, uh, I would say the proof is in the pudding kind of thing. If you, it's definitely harder to stay faithful if you're not encouraged all the time from your parents, your grandparents, whoever's involved. I remember one time, one of the kids, uh, niece's nephew, I don't know, you, they didn't have to go to mutual one night, and you said, I would have never gotten away with that, and I knew the benefits. I knew that it would not just benefit you then and there, but in the eternities. So it was important to me. Uh, it's important to me now. It's all I want is for all of my sons to be able to uh, embrace the gospel and share it with their children, and uh, being in celestial kingdom wouldn't be as beautiful without my family. I know that.
Well, I think you're doing a great job at helping make that happen, Mom.
Trying.
Uh, says my internet connection is unstable, so hopefully it doesn't cut out at some point. But if it does, then we can pick it up again. But hopefully, it just keeps going like this. Um,
I should say something. I thought that was kind of interesting too. Is your dad and I started taking walks, and we talk about you guys. We have little prompts on my phone. It's an app. And at one time, maybe we were, here and here as far as what we valued the most, and what was going to be what is the most important thing to us. And it went just like this. Our answers are all the same. Um, it's always about our children and how much we love them, and how much we know that the gospel is the only way to achieve that happiness.
Ah, um, so I think now's a good time to talk about all the grandchildren. You had a few that were young at growing up at this time, and then a few that were born um, around this time too. So, do you want to talk about um, like let's see, like Garrison, Owen, and Vivian were all um, born 2013 and earlier, and then all the other grandkids are pretty little. So, do you want to talk about your grandchildren?
I do. Um, well, like you said, Garrison led the way for the three that were born all within 12 months. And then Owen, then Vivian. So I felt like I hit the mother load when that happened. I had three grandchildren all in 1 year, within a year, 12
Mhm.
months. And I just feel like besides having your own children, uh, it's the biggest blessing that you can never have. And Madison, we'll start with her since she's the oldest. Uh, it was almost like having another child because she just came in on your guys' heels, and sometimes I know she was proud of it because she would, we go to a store and they'd say, "Oh, you have such a little cute little girl," and she just beam. Neither one of us would say anything like "thank you." That was about it. And yeah, it was adorable that she was doing that. And I always the cutest little things were like Madison crazy hair and little girl with the curl. And you know I told she we put her pigtails, and I would tell her they're antennas. What's an antenna? But yeah. So, and quite frankly, I'm a boy mom, so I didn't know what to do with little girls. I thought I'll probably ruin them, but uh with the fart jokes and stuff. But you know and then Gage came in, and he was I went in with Christine when she was in labor and she couldn't have him. He was going to be a C-section. And then I saw Matthew holding him and behind the mirror or the window, and he looked up at his daddy, and I go, "Not the mama?" I took a picture of it. uh, then Ethan came in 3 months later, and I was there for that too. And your dad, I remember, was in Whistler skiing, and I got him on the phone right afterwards. I'm like, "Another grandson." Um, and then who's next? Oh, Ezra. And I remember that Jared and Ray were, I think, kind of by themselves a little bit, and leaning on mom's knowledge. I was still working for a Protected Vet at the time, and I missed being there for his birth, but super duper cute. Logan, I was there for his birth. Um, actually went in with Christine while they did the C-section. And I'm like, he looks so much like her side, just a little cutie. And then we got to the other ones, but each one of them is so special, and we waited 9 years after the little bunch of 3 that came down from heaven. Hey, let's go. Let's all go to our moms. And then there's little Edie B. And yeah, nothing's changed. I miss her every minute that I'm not with her.
Yeah, we can backtrack with other questions, but do you want to talk about the grandkids now and your hopes for them?
It's not much different than it was with you guys. Uh, I love each and every one of them, and I hope that all of them find their way. And the only way to do that, I'll just keep on going back to the gospel, because you don't live this long without knowing that the minute you start falling away, that's when you're not happy. You stay on the path, and that's what I would hope for all of them. And I would hope that they all know how much I love them. Not just now, but for all eternity. And if I can be there, I was watching the teenagers, and I'm like, why are they talking so much to grandpa and not to grandma, and I used to be their world. What's going on? And Mark told me, he said, he asks them questions. He wants to know about them. I think that's really important. So I started asking questions.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it, good way to go about it. Would you like to talk about finding out about your dad?
Oh yeah. You know what? That was one of the things that I was looking at when I did that. And then that's about the time. I met a cousin. I started getting on Facebook because I thought every single Elderbaum, my dad's last name, is related to me, and I never really knew him. So now that Facebook has gotten into view, and I contacted people, and I was able to connect. And so one of my cousins was in Louisiana, and I was working in Louisiana. So I asked her if I could meet up with her, and I got pictures and stories, very colorful stories.
Mm.
I knew he left when I was 2. And at that point, my mom pretty much broke everything off. And, back then it was easier to do that. You couldn't, he wrote some letters, but that was it. That's all he knew. So your dad would ask me, why do you want to know anything about your dad? He's gone. But I did, and I understand why, because your hearts do get connected. It's a promise that if you're doing your genealogy, that, what is it? You turn the hearts of the fathers.
To the children, yeah,
Yeah.
and the children of the fathers.
And you can ask your dad. I'll sit in the office and I'll be just crying, because I can feel the love that people have. And I feel like I know these people when I'm doing genealogy. So having those pictures that my cousin gave to me, and she's passed on. Had I waited another couple of years, who knows if I'd have any pictures of him or any stories or any leads. It led me into one of my cousins that I've met a few times, and he's given me more information. So while I didn't have the connection with my dad, I definitely do with my with some of my cousins, and now with like when I did the temple work for my great grandmother Mildred, pretty much during the initiatories cried the entire time. And everybody that was there was crying too. We all felt her there and accepting the gospel. And so doing the work.
Yeah, I think that's I was hoping that you were going there with that, talking about the temple work. Um, and I got to do some names on some of the men on that side of the family too.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't stop there. The minute you start doing more and you start putting more names in and you start identifying, the veil is very, very thin. And if I could challenge anybody to do anything, it would be to do your genealogy. Don't ever think that it's quote done. You will find out it's not. I could work 24 hours, 7 days a week on it. And you want to feel what I'm feeling.
Hmm.
And I can also say that I helped missionary experiences. One time we were doing a family home evening and remember we would talk about missionary experiences. And I go,
Mhm.
wait a minute, I have one. Oh, it was because I was doing genealogy, and they're an easier target because they're just waiting. Get rid of.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's um I might go back and talk about some other things, but let's go ahead and move on to mine and Josh's missions and your experience while we were out serving.
Uh, First of all, with all of you that served a mission, um, there's a moment, it's bittersweet. There's times where I thought I was going to die. I just, every minute seemed like forever, and every call, that I get, or every email, it was just, you know, uh, hard. Let's just say that. And knowing that I was still doing the right thing. And then I identified with Hannah, and how there's a song that it's in one of the Book of Mormon child videos, and it talks about go to serve the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and remembering his word. And I identified with the song. I know hers was a lot harder mission than mine
Mm-hmm.
because she actually gave her child over, that I did for 2 years. So I could, you know, empathize with what she was going through. Definitely. Of course, there was blessings. Every time one of you guys went on a mission, your dad and I just flourished financially. We were able to pay for the missions without a problem. The connections were there. I remember one time in particular that I was worrying about you. And then you told me that there was an incident, when you did email. And I'm like, that's it. We have that connection. And, but I also knew that the Lord was taking care of you and you were where you were supposed to be. As hard as it was, the hardest things I ever did was let you guys go. But I knew it was the right thing. And the Heavenly Father assured me of that. One of the times that Josh was on his mission, I had a horrible dream. I had a horrible feeling. I was just devastated when I woke up. And I believe that morning, Josh was able to email me. And he said, I know you're worried about me, but I want you to know that the Lord is taking care of me. He said that him and his companion were out at somebody's house, and in Argentina, they would clap. And him and his companion were doing that outside somebody's house. And his companion looked at him and said, "We need to go." And that's exactly what he was thinking at that time. We need to leave. It's dangerous. And so he said, "I want you to know that the Lord is taking care of us. He's protecting us." So the reassurance that both of you were going to be okay, that, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And we were okay. I think probably the scariest experiences were riding on a bike, because people try to that a lot of drivers don't like bikers, and so they swear at you and stuff like that. I had someone tell me, "Go get a real job." Like, I'm serving, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Made you a better man, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say definitely. Okay, let's talk about the pets over the years, because we had Rosie and Lily um back around that time. Had to let them go, and then we had Sophie, Savannah, Scarlet, Django, Bowie, Ziggy, and DT. Well, and other animals. The
We had the cockatiels.
Yeah.
One of them escaped. I'm free. Yeah. Um, I
Oh,
think,
what was it? Mike and Ike? Yeah.
yeah, Mike and I. And I think they're essential for children. I think it's really good for them to have something to love and to. I know as a child, if I hadn't had my dogs, I probably wouldn't have had anybody to talk to, because I was the last kid, uh, and they bring a lot of comfort. I'm sure Sophie's brought you a lot of comfort, and because she's had 3 boys. It was first you, you're the original, and then Josh when you went on a mission, and now Logan, her with her little Popeye.
Yeah.
And then Scarlet, when I don't even remember what year it would be, but she when we were gone on vacation, she disappeared. So Christine searched for months for her every single day, and then found Savannah. So, and Savannah adores her.
Yeah, I mean, despite all the challenges that have come uh with all of them, I absolutely love having pets, and I agree. I think you do feel comfort and joy from them, and I think it teaches kids maybe service to some degree, because you're
Taking
like
care.
when you're taking care of an animal, you feel joy taking care of them. So
Yeah, I remember I had a dog named Peppy, and a little French poodle.
mhm.
And I would sit here outside on the stairs and just tell him all my problems when I was little. And I'm sure you guys did too, like, "Can you believe that?" They're like, "No, I just can't. I love you." I go, "You guys are never mean to me." And I tell Django he's one of the nicest people to me. Yeah, and he adores
Yeah. Yeah, he absolutely loves you.
Mama.
Yeah, I heard him on the call earlier this call.
Yeah,
He's making noise.
he is now too. He starts getting scared.
Um, do you have any standout memories from vacations over the years.
Oh, that's a good one because I wrote that down. Um, really, one of my favorites is when we would go to San Diego and we did the Mormon Battalion over and over in Old Town, and we go up to the lighthouse. Uh, I was able to get rooms for free, remember? And we go to Oh Hungry's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Hungry, yeah. And there was a lot of times there was a little couple in there playing music, and our meals were $5 for our whole meal. And we had a room, whenever we wanted to go down there, uh, right on the beach, and we could go swimming and jacuzzi. And just wonderful memories. Going to Palm Springs, I knew one of the managers out there, and she'd let us come out there and swim in the pool and relax. And it's just so awesome being with my family and making those memories and knowing these are going to be really important. These are going to be really special. I may have taken for granted all the wonderful memories with Matthew, Mark, and Jared. Even though I was loving it, I didn't realize it was going to pass so quickly. So having you 10 years later, I knew it was going to pass, and I savored every minute. I would say that's a good way to analyze it. I savored it. I treasured it. And I knew it was going to go. I knew, like I was saying the other day, Landslide is a good song to descriptive, that I built my life around you. And then even though it was for her father, life's about changing, and I'm getting older too. So, but I did, and I wouldn't have changed it for anything in the world. What are some of the trips that we took that you would?
Well, I thought it was cool when um, there was a period of time where we didn't hadn't seen Mark, and then we were able to start regularly, either flying out there or him coming over and we for vacations. And so I think I have some really cool memories from that.
Yeah, we hadn't seen Mark really for about 3.5 years,
Hmm.
but that's never going to happen again. Right after that, or during that time, I told Mark, I said, do you realize if I live to be 30 more years, that's generous, and that was back then. I said, and I only see you once a year, I only see you 30 more times before I pass away. And that hit all of us like a brick.
Hmm.
Uh, so we started making more of an effort to the just 30 more times, or it's going to be at least 100, uh, and I mean, one of the funniest things, and I think it was that year that we started going, I post that video every once in a while when you guys have jumped on, when you jumped on Josh. And
Hmm.
then Mark came over and he jumped on Josh and he's like doing his leg. And then Josh, he's like, get off me, get off me. Then he farts and it's so loud. I have the worst probably phone at the time, and I'm filming it and you can hear it all the way over there. And then Lindsay starts laughing so hard she's about ready to fall down.
Yeah.
It sounded, that's one of my funniest videos, but it was hysterical.
That's funny.
Still is.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
uh, I want everybody to know about me. I do have a funny, quirky sense of humor, but you guys all got it.
Mhm.
and
But oh, go ahead.
you know, and love for music, you
Mhm.
know. I'm and a love for dancing. If I could pass that on, I think that one of my good traits, I'm glad that you guys got it.
How do you wanna share that, 4th of July experience with Jared and I?
Oh, we were in Corona
Yeah.
and you guys had lawn chairs and you acted like they were walkers and you're acting like you were old people walking out of there. It was referring to what's the name of that movie?
Office Space.
Office Space, when the old guy is passing everybody in traffic.
Yeah, and it was because there was, what was it, traffic getting out of, there?
Oh,
Or
there
was
was
it
so much
on the way
traffic.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you guys could get home probably before we could get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So funny. Uh, I do treasure every single vacation that we've had at Mark and Lindsay's. It was like spectacular, every single one of them.
Mhm.
And I'm really glad that they started coming our way too. And the whole thought behind that, your dad's always teasing me about being a mother hen and doing like this and keeping her babies, um, is to develop a love for each other. Don't forget, uh, you know, what's the Everett Brothers song? We share the love that you know the words. We share we share
Uh,
our last name.
yeah,
And
I can't remember,
if I get murdered in the city.
like, the love that lets us share our name or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Oh, yeah, always remember there's nothing worth sharing like the love that lets us share our name.
yeah, I want you, because your dad told me, he goes, if whenever you pass away, the boys probably won't even contact each other. I'm like, no, I want you guys to rely on each other. This is an eternal family. I want you to love each other so much that you depend on each other, that you comfort each other, that you're there for each other and rely, more than just, I have a brother. It, I didn't even know that families weren't close until I got into high school. I I heard kids saying, "Yeah, I hate my mom forever," or "I don't like my brother. I haven't talked to him in years." I I wanted you guys to feel an internal perspective on how to treat each other, and so getting everyone together, and even though it could be difficult to do and to get family pictures, it's important. It's important to me.
Um, do you have any, you've talked, about your sons, do you have any experiences that you'd like to share about your, um, daughter-in-laws?
Yeah. When I Because I had 5 sons, and again, I wouldn't change a thing. Uh, I always said that I wanted 12 boys and 1 girl. I fell short. Uh, your
You
dad,
made up with the grandkids.
yeah, yeah. But your dad said, no, this is it. But uh, everyone always said, you're going to have daughters someday. You will. You're going to have 5 daughters, and then grandchildren. And I think in each way that I love you guys, and everybody was teasing me, oh, you love the baby more, you love Josh. I'm like, really? Yes, I do. But I love each and every one of you. There, there's similarities, but there's so many differences. And that's why Heavenly Father made you. That's the way you were for an eternity. That's the way I love my daughter-in-laws. You know, when I think of like Christine, I'll think, I love the way she loves animals and old people. Those are the two that stick out in my head. Lindsay has the voice of an angel and an infectious smile. She's just, everybody's like, oh, I can't believe that smile. Ray, she just calms me when I'm with her. You know, she has such a calming spirit. And Clarissa is just so smart and so organized, and they just all bring something different to the table, just like you guys do. Um, and I love every one of them, even though each one of them are different. I love them so much. And I do the same thing with, you know, I said, I was talking to Matt and I'm like, you understand how much I love you guys and that I love you all differently. But I would step in front of a truck to protect any of you guys, you know, and Matthew, you know, I love listening to him when he's upstairs laughing at something. I can hear him and I start laughing, you know. He's got the biggest heart. If somebody on the street was, you know, a homeless person, they said, man, I really love your shirt. Can I have it? He'd go, yeah, okay. You know, he would do that. Mark is so funny in his own way. I mean, a lot of people don't even get it, but I get it. We used to sit on the couch and make faces at each other, you know, like we had birds and I'd be looking at him like, I'm looking at you, you know. And he has, as Lindsay says, he's a gentle giant. And, you know, Jared was, he just made me laugh all the time when he was little. And now he's just so, whatever he says he's going to do, he's going to do it, you know. And, you know, you have, what, you know, everybody used to tease about, oh, okay, Aaron's going to be a prophet. How many prophets have done that? You know, oh no, I'm slow to speak.
Yeah.
I'm not elegant with my words, you know. Tender heart, voice of an angel, you know, loving beyond. And Josh, so much tenderness, and so the job he's doing is perfect for him. He works with, you know, handicapped children, and they love him. Everybody loves. So you in the, what do they say? They don't say the premortal existence, or do they now still? You're the only one that I could audibly hear. I mean, maybe it was just in my head, but when I decided after 10 years, I'm going to have another baby, you know, and I knew I could hear you. And I was crying so uncontrollably that I had to pull over the car, get my composure. I knew you were going to be Aaron. I knew all of this, and I knew you were going to be a boy. I mean, and that was before I decided I was going to have a baby. I just decided, but I wasn't pregnant then. So lots of spiritual experiences.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And that's one that you share, that you remind me of. And I think that's a good thing too, that um you remind your kids about the individual, like when you're talking with each of us individually remind us of the special experiences that you have with each of us, and so I appreciate that, Mom.
That's the one thing I do, because I miss my mom's stories. She would tell me stories, and every time she was going to tell me a story, I remember Gage going, "You've told me that before, Grandma." But I said, "You're going to miss that story. You're going to miss hearing it from me," because every time that my mom would tell us stories that she had told me before, I'd get out the popcorn and just sit there and go, "Oh, coming to the good part." I would enjoy every time that she would tell me the same story over and over. I was like, "Oh, I love this story. Wait, shh, wait, she's coming to it." you know and so I think, and I want you to know, because that's the one thing I never really heard my mom do, was say how much she missed her mom and dad. I don't know why that was important to me, but I want my kids to know how much I love my mom and dad, what they meant in my life, and that uh, I'm confident we'll be together again. But, parents, you know, I don't know when kids start realizing how important their parents are, but, they are.
Hmm.
They're there for a reason, and grandparents. Isn't that funny the way God designed it?
Yeah, I think so. He's he's perfect in all things that he does, and so it's really cool the relationships that we get to have on this earth, and we don't know exactly how it carries over into the next life, but we have our temple blessings, and we know that we will get to be with each other again. So, um, do you want to talk about? I know you've talked about it a little bit, but like Josh, Clarissa, and Eden, and
uh,
getting to visit them with them.
uh, and one good indication of how and why Edie, she laughs all the time. She's very confident. People comment, she goes to everybody, because she's so loved. And, if you watch Josh and Clarissa more than 30 minutes, you're going to see them both laughing. And I think that's a tribute to them, because she has a loving environment. And I mean, all I have to do is open my eyes real wide and look at her and pretend like I'm gonna laugh, and she just loses it. And at 8 months, not all babies get that, you know. And she's recognizing me. I think it's from the pre-existence. Plus, she loves me a lot. She said that she does.
Yeah, she does.
She said, "I just love you."
I know you love your grandbabies. Um, and so do, and I love Eden too. It's she's just such a cutie, and it's so fun when
But
I get to visit.
she told me she loved you too.
Oh, I
"I just
appreciate
miss
that.
Uncle Aaron so much."
Um, would you like to talk about your relationship with your siblings?
Yeah. Uh, Again, when I was in high school, uh, I thought everybody loved their siblings, whether they got along with them or not, and their mom and dad. And when I got into high school, it just wasn't like that. And it's not like that now. If you talk to some people haven't, they go, "Yeah, I have a brother. He lives in Woo," and it doesn't affect them the way it affects us. Uh, I've always idolized Dennis. He was 17 when I was born, and he left when he was 18. So, it was more like he was gone, but I knew how wonderful he was when he would come around. And yeah, and I dare anybody to say anything else about him because they'd have to deal with me. My Aunt Chris is a second mother to me. She took care of me when Mom worked. She didn't just take care of me, she adored me. And she said she prayed me here. She was wanting a little sister so badly. And we had nothing. My mom worked many hours, and a thing of ice cream at the end of the week was a really big deal because we had nothing. Aunt Chris would make little lunches for us, and we would pretend to go do like a picnic out in the grape vineyards because we live really close to grape vineyards. And so she has a really special place in my heart. Uncle Vernon, he is a really good person, and he loves the Lord. And my life would not be the same without my siblings. I always know that they're there, and I'm the baby. At 63 years old, I'm still the baby, and I hold that position. I don't know that I don't know how many people know that, but I lost a sister too at birth. My mom had a stillborn, and her name is Karen. So someday I'll get to meet her. She was in between Dennis and Sis.
You will, Mom. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
God doesn't lie.
And I don't know with my dad if he had any other children. Because one of the family, remember when I talked about my cousin, I said, she goes, no, he never had any other children. I go, you didn't know about me.
Yeah, it's true.
Point taken.
Would you like to talk about yours and Dad's relationship over the past 10 years? Or yeah, about I guess 10 years.
I think that Jamie Lee Curtis said it the best when she was interviewed. She's the same age as I am, and she's been married for the same amount of years. And the interviewer said, how did you make it work? How did you stay together? And you know what her answer was?
What's that?
I didn't get a divorce. When you get married, guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed, you're not going to have a happy moment every day of your life with that person. And watching where, it's more not like this, but it's more like this, and at least it was for us. And now it's more like this. We have more of a perspective on, it's not going to always be perfect, but I don't think either one of us care about that. It doesn't have to be. We have to be kind to each other and work hard still. And we love each other. And once some people have it in their mind, well, if it doesn't work out, cut our ties, get a divorce, and once you give up that idea that that's not really an option, you need to work together. I think that makes the most successful marriages.
And how is the gospel playing a role in your marriage?
I think it plays everything in our marriage. The lack of, the more, wherever you are in that timeline, if you reject the gospel, you are going to have issues. You're going to have problems. It cures a lot of what could potentially go wrong in a marriage. It's just, if you're living the gospel, both of you, to the fullest, it seems like it would be impossible to fail.
That's what the prophets teach.
It's true. Once we give up our will to do whatever we want to do, if we submit to the Lord, then we're happy. We're free.
Okay, I think we're into into like a bonus questions category now. So do you have any let's see. Yeah, I think we should talk about Bamboo Bear a little bit, because well, you're talking about the connections that you made with, when we'd go to the beach and stuff like that, and stay at a hotel for free. We didn't uh, You got some of those connections through
Yeah.
Bamboo Bear.
I think it was a good experience. It was a learning. I know when Jared was in China after Ezra was born, they were coming back and we talked about starting a business. And so we did. But the supply,
What year did you start?
gosh, Ezra was probably, we have him on one of our covers about a year old.
Oh yeah, okay.
So maybe a year or two after he was born.
And then we closed it like 2014 or something.
Yeah. And supply and demand, though, because we were getting all of our product from China and we couldn't get it fast enough. People would be like looking at us like, are you really professional? So it was, that was our biggest Achilles heel kind of thing, that what stopped us, because when I looked around how much we really did work it, just couldn't keep up the demand. So, but it was good learning. I think it was good for all of us. Everything can be taken as a learning curve. You worked with me, Jared worked with me, Christine, I saw what a great salesperson she was, very charming. People loved her. It was good. And it was good that we got to go for free all the time to places and enjoy even that other place in La Jolla with Kevin, right on the beach. It was good memories.
Yeah, I remember having a lot of fun doing warehouse work
Yeah.
there. And we'd fight with bamboo sticks.
Uh-huh.
That was great. You've had okay, so do you want to talk about like the house now versus when you moved in, like the house over the years,
Oh, the
and
house.
the backyard,
Oh, wow.
because the backyard has had quite a few transformations, I think.
One of the funniest things that Mark said was when Ethan first started coming back, what year was that? We went out there before you were on your mission. So was that 13? Okay.
Probably.
So 14, let's say they came here, and I think we still had those little like ATVs, and stuff. And Ethan thought that was cool. And then the bows and arrows and stuff like that. He goes, yeah, they have the coolest backyard. You know, it's like jungle back there.
Yeah, we even had a vegetable garden at one
Yeah.
point.
So it served its purpose. I'd have rather had a pool back then, but hey. So yeah, even like I said, during the pirate parties, we clear an area, put a fire pit, hey, voila, party. But the metamorphosis is when COVID hit, and Matt and Christine are like, our kids can't go anywhere. So we all started pulling together and made a beautiful backyard. And if something happened, that the kids could still have a place to play and have fun and watch movies in the backyard with our big screen. And, I think it's been a lot of fun. And the house,
Yeah.
oh boy. One of the things about the house is that we had from our family room into the dining room, sliding glass door. I remember Josh, when we first came in, he was like 13 months, 14 months. And my mom and dad moved in because mom had fibromyalgia and she couldn't take care of herself. And so we had a room that she could actually roll her wheelchair into and that. But anyway, she said, wherever Joshua has walked, or God is with him. So she said, have Joshua walk around the whole house. And he was just so little, but this little tiny lip that was only like an inch high, he would come up to it and try to get that foot over. It was, yeah. Anyway, the family room, when we tore it apart, your dad went on vacation. Every time we went on vacation, I did something to the house. And so I'm like, yeah, go ahead, Eddie. Bye. See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
uh, they were tearing the walls open in the family room. And Christine and I go, what is that? Because they had a door inside of our wall, like an outside door. They had bird dog wallpaper on the walls. They had carpet that had like squares on it. And I mean, it was hideous. And so that was fun, redoing the house, beautifying our home, our
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah, it's fun. I do like our backyard now more.
More,
Yeah.
less embarrassing.
Well, I don't know if like for me it was ever embarrassing,
Uh,
but it has been fun using the projector and blow up screen and watching movies outside for parties and swimming in the pool and stuff. So I appreciate it.
yep.
Even though you decide to do it after all of your kids were adult, you know.
I hold no malice towards you.
Yeah. Um,
Do you want to hold 1 minute?
sure.
Okay, sing a song for everybody or whatever. I'll be right
Sing
back.
a song.
Django's going nuts.
Okay, quick while she's gone. I'm just kidding, I don't know. Um, Jared, you can edit this section out, by the way. Okay. And Josh, you don't have to transcribe this section. No, I'm just gonna eat.
I picked him up and he burped at me. Good job.
For For those watching this video in 50 years from now, that was our bird Django, and that's his favorite person right there.
I'm mama. And then I always go, ooh.
Yeah, a little Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking up something real quick.
So one of the silly memories that I remember about us, I don't remember when it was, but I think we just watched the Benchwarmers movie, and we were just like having conversation with each other, but instead of doing it normally, we were like doing everything with a lisp, so we were spitting on each other.
I remember we were at the Castle Park and we were on the the black ride that's like a octopus.
Oh, okay.
And
Uh,
we were doing that. We're both like,
yeah. Excuse me.
excuse me.
It's a very nice night tonight. Like that.
Oh.
Yeah. That
Um,
was fun. I don't know how many more times I would want to do that, but
unless somebody served a towel with it.
I guess the fun part was that neither of us had a problem with it that night, so we were able to create a memory.
I have a question.
Okay.
Uh,
No, this is my interview.
oh, here it is.
Just kidding.
It, I should write it down and do it. I don't know if I read this to you. I probably did. That it's when all is said and done.
Uh-huh.
And if you look it up, it'll say Abba, but I'm like, no, that's not the one. Okay. And I think it sums up me. Well, a lot of people probably. Did you sing this for Grandpa's funeral?
I think I might have.
When all is said and done. Okay, when the music fades into the past, when the days of life are through, that will be through, what will be remembered of where I've come when all is said and done? Will they say I love my family, that I was a faithful friend, that I live to tell of God's own Son when all is said and done? Oh, how I long to see the hour when I will hear the trumpet sound, so I can rise and see my Savior's face and see him smile and say, well done. You can forget my name, the songs I've sung, every line and every tune, but remember the truth of Jesus' love when all is said and done. I think about that every once in a while, that that's the kind of friend I would want to be, the kind of, mother, wife, daughter, that when all is said and done, isn't that it? I think I'd want people to think I was funny too, that I made you laugh.
Yeah.
I think laughing is important.
I get all my weirdness from my mom.
It's true. Write that down. Your dad's in the room. He's like, yeah, I agree. I'm sure. But the love of music, the love of dance, the goofiness. I love it. Wouldn't be me without it.
Well, I think this is an appropriate spot to end the interview portion of the video. So I'm going to press the stop recording button. So goodbye to everyone that's watching this.
Push subscribe and like.
Yeah, remember to ring that notification bell so you won't miss a video. Just kidding. All right.